Welcome back to another episode of the platform. This one is episode 4. We're going to start over the next several weeks. We're going to mix in some of our scholarship winners for this year's Mesick High School Powerlifting Association Senior Scholarship. Winners that was voted on by the board of directors, and some of our college coaches. You're going to see that over the next few weeks. But this one, again, is episode 4, and we're going to start with one of our scholarship winners. It's Miss Celeste Hallett from Mesick High School. She was the first scholarship winner that we had the opportunity to sit down and talk with and get to know this young lady and get to spotlight her and her program a little bit. But before we get to Celeste, make sure that you are subscribed or you are following the platform on your favorite podcast platform, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Deezer, here on Riverside, our recording platform. There's many different places for you to find the platform. Please subscribe, leave a review, give it a thumbs up. Give us some feedback on it, or hey, if you are somebody that is involved in our association or has been involved in our association or powerlifting in general and you want to be on the show, reach out to us, info@MHSPLA.com, and we'll get back to you and we'll get you scheduled for a future episode of the platform where the stories weigh a ton. Until then, I mean, that's really all we got for this intro. Next week will be Connor Berkmeyer, our first college coach that we had the chance to talk to here on the platform. But until then, this is episode 4 with Celeste Hallett of Mesick. Hit the intro music.
Welcome to the platform, where the stories weigh a ton. Squat, bench, dead, we rise as one. Michigan's lifters, this is our home. Turn it up, feel that fold. This is the platform. Welcome to the
Yep, here we are. It helps when I don't double click a button. Back with another episode of the platform. I'm your co-host, Coach Chris Whitaker, Dexter High School, Iron Dread, Strength and Conditioning, Iron Dread, Powerlifting, Michigan High School board member. I am here with Coach Chris Gillum, our director of the MHSPLA. Coach Gillum, good to see you again.
It's good to be here.
We are a special one today where with our guest coming on the platform, our first student athlete that we've had the chance to interview on the platform. This young lady was one of our 2025-2026 scholarship winners through the MHSPLA. This year we gave out 4 scholarships to our senior student athletes who submitted an essay, and it was voted on by the MHSPLA board. Miss Celeste Hallett is here with us. Celeste, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Did I pronounce your name correctly? Because I'm going to do another pronunciation here in a second, and I don't want to screw up twice.
No, that's okay. You got it right.
All right. Celeste is from Mesick High School, not Mesick.
Not Mesick.
Mesick High School. Welcome, Celeste, to the show. Appreciate you being here. We got a bunch of questions we're going to ask you. We'll have some fun and get to know you a little bit more. Coach Gillum's going to kick off the questions here. Coach, you take it. Let's roll.
All right. Just before we get going, Chris, I don't see you and I don't see myself. I do see Celeste. I see the platform logo. Just want to make sure we're good. But a couple quick questions for you. Super easy, Celeste. Just to get to know you a little bit. How many siblings do you have?
3 younger brothers.
Oh, so you're the oldest.
Yes, I am.
Right. What's the differences in your guys' age?
My mom had all 4 of us within 5 years. So
Okay.
not a lot. The youngest is 12. I think. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's good. Chris, did
Yep.
you want to?
Yeah, hold on. I'm trying to figure out why this is.
That's all right. I can continue on. Oh, there we go, Chris. All
We're going.
right.
We're not even gonna edit that out and post, Celeste. We're good. We keep going here.
Okay.
So tell us again, how many siblings do you have?
3 younger brothers.
3 younger brothers. Are they into lifting weights yet?
Um, Gunner, he's the oldest of the 3. He used to do powerlifting. He was in the 105 weight class, but he has recently really gotten into like cross country and track. So he's kind of transitioned into that. Aaron plays basketball. He's the middle one. And then Zane is the youngest, and he'll be lifting with us next year when he's in 7th grade. So,
Awesome.
Awesome.
yeah,
All athletes.
all
All
athletes.
athletes in the Hallett family.
That's right.
So obviously we know powerlifting takes a lot of your time. School takes a lot of your time. Your young lady that has a job, because we're trying to squeeze this in before you have to go to work here, and we thank you for that. Do you have any hobbies or interests outside of training and lifting?
Read a lot, like a lot. So I read a bunch of different books. I like to paint sometimes, but I'll get in a creative slump where I won't touch paintbrush for like 4 months, and then I'll whip out like 13 paintings in a row. So those are my 2 big ones. Yep.
Available soon on the MHSPLA shop. Custom paintings by Celeste Hallett.
I don't know about that one.
Now that you've won the scholarship award, that makes them worth more money here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. We'll only take a
What?
small percentage.
Yeah.
Okay.
What plans do you have, Celeste, post high school? What are you going to do after you graduate this year?
Set to go to GVSU in the fall, and I plan to study exercise science and get my bachelor's in that. And then once I'm done with that program, I'm going to move on to physical therapy or athletic training. So,
All right. Your hobbies and interests and your plans are very similar to my youngest daughter, isn't it, Chris? Yeah. She
Yeah.
sounds a
Shout
lot
out
like you.
Morgan. Shout out Morgan.
Yeah.
Great Lake Power.
Yeah. So,
She'll be very happy to.
well, Natalie likes the art where Morgan
Yeah.
wasn't into art. So she's a
yeah.
little more like Natalie, but both of my daughters, exercise science is what they studied. And my oldest is doing it right now. And my youngest is she's a sophomore in college right now. So,
That's really cool.
yeah.
We have, well, a lot of these things that kind of make us who we are, right? Powerlifting draws all of us together, right? But it's always fun to see those different things that people are into.
Mm.
What drew you to this great sport of powerlifting and the MHSPLA?
So I used to play basketball, but I wasn't very good at it. Like, I'm talking run down and score a hoop for the other team, not very good at it. So when my dad started the program 5 years ago at Mesick, I was like, okay, nothing could be worse than that. So I tried it out, and I actually ended up being pretty good at it. And I really enjoyed it because I got to spend a lot of time with my dad, and I had a bunch of friends who lifted with me, and yeah, it just kind of grew on me from there. And now it's my favorite.
Yeah, it's a fun sport, and I think that
Yeah,
one of the
it is.
biggest things with us with this sport too is there's a spot for everyone in it. You said your brother was 105 pounds.
Yeah.
Like, there's a spot for the smallest of the small, the biggest of the big, the strongest in the area to the weakest. There's a spot for somebody here to come and compete and have some fun.
Yeah. Yep.
So you mentioned you did basketball before and then you transitioned into powerlifting because those sports kind of conflict with each other.
Yeah.
So how many years have you been involved in the sport and competing through the Michigan High School Powerlifting Association?
This year, my senior season was my 5th year competing and 5th year involved. And that's as long as our program has been kind of a thing at Mesick here. And yeah, I competed 8th through 10th grade on JV and 11th and 12th grade in varsities.
You plan on doing it after you graduate, like in a different association?
I've been contemplating it. I reached out to GVSU's club team, I don't know, probably before states sometime, and they were like, okay, tryouts are in the fall. Like, we'd be interested in having you come down and try out if you're like looking into it. So I might not. I kind of want to see how intense freshman year is going to be, but I think it would be cool to do it after high school.
Sure. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Well, hopefully it's something that fits in your schedule and you can make it work out because you're probably going to work out anyway, right?
Definitely. Got to get jacked.
And
Good.
we all are working for that. Jacked, and what does Mark Bell say? Jacked and tan. I don't know if I'm either one these days.
I'm not
Celeste,
either.
what was your experience like in the MHSPLA? Did it have any sort of impact on you as a lifter or as a person?
Definitely. I feel like I tell people all the time because there are a lot of like younger girls. Sorry about that. There are a lot of younger girls who will like come up to me and be like, "So I'm thinking about trying powerlifting. I don't know if I should." And I'm like, "Oh, you definitely should." Like, powerlifting is one of those sports that it's competitive and like everybody is competing against each other, but everybody is cheering for each other at the same time. I feel like nowadays in sports, like everything is so I have to beat you, I have to win, that we kind of forget that we're all here just to do our best. But like, I feel like powerlifting, because everybody is like lifting for themselves, even though we're still competing against each other, it's a lot easier to kind of keep that sportsmanship and like camaraderie while we're lifting. And just because of that, I feel like it's definitely something that is like, go for it, go all out, go lift. And then just personally, I feel like powerlifting is something that has helped me gain a lot of confidence in myself. Cause like when you're in the gym, 300 pounds seems like a lot of weight. And that's cause it is. But like eventually, like I got to the point where I was like, 300 pounds, I can lift that. Like I'm confident in myself that I can go out there and do it if I set my mind to it, which is really nice. So
Yeah, for sure. What once seemed like a insurmountable task, you get to the point where you've done it often enough that you don't even think about it being a challenge anymore.
exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Right.
Um, Share a fond memory from your experiences at maybe a specific meet, you know, with a specific teammate or with a specific maybe competition. Is there anything that sticks out in your mind from your 5 years of competing?
So just this year at States, I competed in the 165-pound weight class. And one of the girls, I recognized her, but I didn't really remember her name. And I was like, I know I've seen you before, but where? And she came up to me and she was like, "Hey, you're Celeste, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember your name." And I still don't. But she was like, "Do you remember lifting?" I think it was Mona Shores many moons ago, I think 2 or 3 years ago. We lifted on the same platform. And I was like, "Yeah, that's like that makes sense. That checks out." And she was like, "I remember you were like my biggest supporter. You were pushing me so hard in deadlift and like you kept spotting me and like, hey, you got this." She's like, "I just want to say thank you because I wouldn't be here at States today if it wasn't for you." And so like that's something like warm fuzzy feelings, and it's just kind of stuck with me like your impact on people, like, you'll never know how much you impact someone because I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even remember that I knew her, but it sticks with people, and I feel like that's something that, like, it's a nice memory to look back on, but it also, like, goes to show you that, like, little interactions like that with someone mean a lot to them, so
For sure. That's great. That's a good memory to have. Thank you for sharing that.
you're welcome.
And if the individual that you helped listens to this, reach out. Maybe we'll talk to her and we'll hear her side of it too.
I'll do that.
Um, so, one piece of advice you would have for somebody considering competing in the sport of powerlifting for the first time?
Stay mentally tough. It takes obviously, you have to have a certain amount of physical toughness to be able to lift heavy circles off the ground or off your chest or off the rack. But mental toughness, I feel like it's 40% physical and 60% mental. Like you have to keep the faith in yourself that it's hard, but I know I'll get there. Like, I am strong enough to put in the work. I am strong enough to be able to do this. Like, just stay mentally tough and don't get down on yourself, because the second you start getting down on yourself is when you start not being able to do what you set out to do. So,
Got to keep
That's
working.
great.
Got to keep
mhm.
digging.
That's good advice. So you mentioned your dad started this 5 years ago. So we're just trying to get a gauge for all the people we talk to. Is powerlifting considered a sport at your school? Do you guys
Just this
receive
year.
letters?
Just this year. Um, the last 4 years, it was only a club sport because something about it, I don't know all the statistics exactly, but something about it, either not through MHSAA or something like that, they wouldn't consider it school sport. But just this year, they added it on as a school sport for Mesick. So
That's awesome. Yeah,
that
we're
is
finding
awesome.
that's a little more common now,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
that's awesome. That's good to know. We got another one, coach, that's handing out letters for a sport that most schools weren't doing it, and now
Yeah.
we're finding that's more common than it used to be. So that shows you the growth of the sport in our states.
Yeah.
Great.
It becomes kind of hard to deny when they see, one, the number of interest within their own building, and then the number of interest throughout the state.
Exactly.
Especially with girls, like our girls, and in just a short time that I've been involved, and I've talked with Coach Gillum and some of the other coaches that have been around, like our girls' participation has gone up significantly. Varsity states this year had more girls competitors than boys competitors, right, Coach? Yeah, and that's the
Could be.
The first time ever.
first time ever that that's happened. But since we're on the topic of numbers, about how have the numbers with the Mesick program been in your time? Have you guys grown? Have you stayed about the same?
We've definitely grown. This year we didn't have as many like competitors as we have in the past. Like, we have people who like come up and lift with us, but they're like, I don't know, like I'm kind of nervous. I don't know if I want to compete yet. But they've definitely like, oh yeah, I'm definitely competing next year. Um, but as far as powerlifting at our school is the sport with, I think, the most participation across the age ranges. Like, our basketball program is pretty big. I feel like we're definitely more of a basketball school, but powerlifting is starting to rival that, which is really, I'm a powerlifter, not a basketball player, so I like to see that.
So at a usual training session, how many people are in there training, would you say, during the season?
Practice. My dad runs it so that like we have like a 2 hour long, 2.5 hour long blocks that we're up in the weight room. And like the first hour will be for like newer kids, kids who don't quite know what they're doing yet, kids who just want to come up to lift for maybe baseball or something like that. And then like the second hour, hour and a half is his competitors or like his really serious lifters. And over the course of that time, probably 30 to 40 kids come up to the weight room at some point. So we've got a pretty big group up.
Yeah, that's awesome because your high school enrollment, how many's actually enrolled at your high school? Do you know what the student
Like,
population is?
or something. My graduating class only has, I think, 32 kids. So we're we're pretty small.
So your guys are getting a third of the kids in your school to
Yeah.
show up and work out in the weight room.
Hmm.
Well, that's pretty awesome.
It is pretty awesome.
Numbers
All
rule.
right. You might have to think about this a little bit, but we know powerlifting is a sport where you experience failures because it
Hmm.
happens. You put on some weight on an attempt to try and set a PR or to try and win the meet, and you fail. But that's the difference between winning and losing as an individual at these things. And sometimes your place can determine if your team does well as well, in the
Hmm.
meet. Um, what's your favorite failure that you've had? What's something that you failed at in the sport that most would view as a setback, but you ultimately feel like it set you up to be successful?
That's a good one. I think that so other than squat this year, I never PR'd in a lift. All of my PRs are from my junior year as a varsity lifter. And I feel like honestly, like most people would be like, that's like, don't you want to PR? Like that's not a good thing. Like that isn't necessarily successful. But to me, just being able to consistently pull the weights that I can pull or to lift the weights that I can lift and showing up every day. Like, I know I'm not PRing, like, I know I'm not lifting anything crazy, at least to my standards, but it's like, I still show up every day. I still bust my butt in the weight room. I'm still working hard and making sure that I'm cheering on my teammates and that kind of stuff like that to me, even though on paper I didn't necessarily lift super successfully this year, I I still count that as a success because showing up and keeping after it and still working hard even though it's not paying off, like, that is a success.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you want to look at paying off as setting PRs, but the fact that you can consistently hit numbers
Exactly.
and you are showing the determination and consistency in your training. Yeah, I could see where you're looking at that as that's a success because inconsistency, people could still have a good day or a bad day, but
Exactly.
yeah, making sure you have fewer bad days and that all of your days may not be the greatest, but they're still good.
Mhm.
All right. I like that. Thank you for sharing that.
A microcosm of life there, if I'm
Yeah.
using the correct term. We're not always gonna set PRs in a day, but just making sure that your good days are more than your bad days.
Exact
I mean, did you have an injury that you're working around? Did you drop weight classes down so you're comparing to a higher body weight?
I actually competed in the heavier weight class. I usually fluctuate a little bit throughout the season, like, where I'm at, so I competed a couple times in the 155 this year, and then I competed a couple times in the 165, and I told my dad, I was like, realistically, with my combine, I'm not sitting too much higher in the 155 than in the 165, but I know that if I try to cut down to the 155, I'm gonna lift like crap because I'm not being able to like fuel up how I should. So I might as well have fun and compete in the 165 and not be cranky because I get hangry. I was like, maybe don't let me be cranky with everybody else.
Sure.
So I'll lift in the 165 this year, but yeah, not really anything that I was necessarily working around, just didn't happen this year, but
Gotcha.
In this sport, we're not really in the business of making smaller humans.
yeah,
Be as big as you possibly can be, and then cut down light enough so that you could be in that weight class, and then be the biggest person in that weight class, right?
exactly.
Yeah. Um, the next one is this: what's the hardest thing to learn in this sport of powerlifting?
I think that the hardest thing to learn is that it's it's gonna be okay. Like, if you have a bad day in the weight room at practice, it's gonna be okay. Like, it's not the end of the world. If you don't hit a PR at a meet, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. If you miss your weight class, I 8th grade year, I missed my weight class at states and I didn't get to compete. So it was like, that really sucks, but it's gonna be okay. Like, yes, you can always do better. As long as you're giving it your all, though, it's gonna be okay. So I feel like that's something I'm a perfectionist. That's really hard for me to like wrap my head around sometimes. And I know that there are other people out there on the girl side, on the boys side that can relate to that. But it's like, it's not the end of the world. There are more opportunities and it's not the end all be all if you can't do something. Like that's part of the sport is to find your limits and then push past them. And there are going to be limits sometimes and that's okay. So
Where was that state meet at when you were in 8th grade? Was that
Henry
Henry
Ford.
Ford? That's
Henry
what I thought.
Ford. Yep.
I was just gonna bring that up because I had a lifter that also missed their weight class, and I feel like that day I remember quite a few girls missing
Yeah.
their weight class, and it was after that season that we said if they miss their weight class, we're still gonna let them lift. They
Yeah.
just can't medal and
Yeah.
score team points because knowing that families like traveled hours away, you know, and then
Yeah.
all of a sudden you're not lifting, like that's like demoralizing. So,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I that sounds about right. So that's something we did. The next section is like a rapid fire. So don't think about it too much. Just give us your first answer that comes to
Okay.
mind. But it's going to be a choice. All right. So it's choice between a couple things. All right. So which do you prefer? What's your favorite lift? Squat, bench, or deadlift?
Lift.
Low bar, high bar squat.
Sumo or conventional deadlift?
Sumo. Sumo.
Another sumo puller, coach. You're going to do a 1 rep max or a rep PR?
Rep PR.
Okay. What's your favorite accessory exercise for squat?
Bulgarian split squats.
Wow, she likes to punish herself,
She
coach.
likes
Love-hate
Bulgarian split
relationship.
squat.
I love it.
The Bulgarians, some very evil people on that one. They also used to run the conjugate method where they'd max out 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Crazy
God.
Bulgarians. Your favorite accessory exercise for the bench press?
Tricep extensions.
What variety?
Over the head.
Overhead, dumbbell overhead.
Yep.
Nice. Favorite accessory exercise for deadlift?
I hate them, but deficit deadlifts, they suck.
Sure. They sure do. Yeah. All right. Awesome. I mean, that's the gist of our questions, Celeste. But I did want to talk to you before we move on to the last part of our interview. Is your dad? You said your dad started it, so I want to share a quick story with you. When we basically, we knew who we had selected, but we didn't know you. We didn't know nothing. I didn't even know your dad was your coach, to be honest. So at the state meet, I seen him and I walked up to him and I talked to him. I said, "Hey, how did how does this person pronounce their last name?" And he told me. And I said, "All right, thanks, coach. Make sure she sticks around for the awards because I didn't know how you were doing at the meet or anything. But I wanted
Mhm.
to make sure, we knew we were giving you a scholarship. But sometimes kids, if they don't medal, they take off. And I just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure you were there." And he's like, "Okay." And then it was afterwards that I seen it and I was like, "Oh, you're you're her dad. Okay, that makes a whole lot of sense. Why he knew how to pronounce the name, But
Yeah.
so that was kind of unique, and so I talked to him a little bit because I coach my daughters and stuff. So him and I probably have a lot more in common. I'll have to have a conversation more in depth with him down the road. But has it been pretty fun being with him to like build the program up?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I said, I've done it every single year that it's been a thing. And so like it's kind of bittersweet. Like this is my senior year. Like I don't get to lift with him anymore. So some tears have been shed over that. But it's also like I'm really proud of him for sticking with it because like it's hard because early mornings, like he drives us down a lot with the school van. And so like he'll be driving and he'll get maybe 3 hours of sleep because he still has to like set stuff up and do all the paperwork and make sure that everybody has all their stuff. And then he's up all day and then he's driving us back. But he always has a good attitude. He's always been my biggest supporter, even when he's hard on me. And like he's always shown up for all the other kids too. Like I say all the time, like my dad's the coach and he only makes it to 1 or 2 of my lifts. But honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way because I know that there are a lot of kids at Mesick who need that kind of support from someone. And so it's really like it makes me happy to see that my dad can be that for someone, even if it's in the weight room. Like,
Yeah.
that's just good.
Well, that's good. That's good to hear. I mean, the last thing I wanted to say before we give you a chance to talk about some other stuff, that when you submitted your interest in the scholarship, so nobody knows who the lifters are. We may have run across you guys at meets, but not really putting a face with a name.
Mhm.
But like the way you answered your questions is a large part why the board selected you as one of the recipients of the scholarship. But after interviewing you today, I can totally see, you're a very well-rounded young lady. So
Thank you.
you're very good at speaking, and it's a no-brainer that you were selected. So thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, that it's as a father of two girls too, as well, that are young. I always talk with Coach Gillum's daughters about, all right, what did Dad do really well? What did Dad screw up so I can learn from him? Right? And they love that because I put it to them like that, and they laugh. But yeah, it's so much of, and you just hit the nail on the head with it. Like as coaches, our kids have to share us with everyone else on the team, you know,
Yeah.
or with another, my kids don't, they're still so young. But it is cool that you, as not only his daughter but also a student athlete on the team, recognize that and value what he's giving to the entire program. Because a lesser kid would be selfish to themselves. So hats off to you, Celeste, for sure. And maybe we put Dad down on our list of
Sure,
coaches interviews. Sure.
that'd be awesome.
So we're kind of getting close to our time here, Celeste. We know we got to get you to work. But is there anything that we haven't talked about that you would like to share with our listening audience?
Great questions. I feel like definitely, like, if you're thinking about joining powerlifting, or I don't really know who all listens to the podcast, but whether you're an athlete, whether you're a parent, whether you're a random community member, like, these kids work their butts off. Like, there are kids in the weight room, like, I've seen literal blood, sweat, and tears shed in the weight room, whether they're mine, whether it's someone else. Like, we really work for what we accomplish on the platform. And whether you go home with a medal, whether you don't go home with a medal, it's a really rewarding atmosphere and environment to be a part of. So go watch a meet. Have your kid try it out. Like, if you are the kid, then try it out. Even if you don't go home with a medal or a personal best or something, know that you're doing it for yourself. And that's something that I have really learned. Do it for me, because I deserve someone to put in the effort for myself, whether it's me or whether it's my dad, whether it's one of my teammates. Like, it's important that you have something, whether it's powerlifting or not, just have something that you do for yourself. And I think that that's something that more people need to hear and need to know. So,
Choosing things in life that make you better, and help you to feel more accomplished, to feel better about yourself, that then radiates out into how you interact with other people.
exactly.
Yeah, and challenging yourself. You need to learn what your limits are, and
Hmm.
sometimes you can push those limits and realize that the limits are bigger than what you originally thought.
Right.
So, and the sport teaches that, and I'm glad that you brought that up. So, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Awesome. So, Celeste, we really appreciate you giving your time to be here on the platform with us. Congratulations on a great season,
Thank
um,
you.
and being one of our 4 scholarship winners. One last thing before we let you go, or I'll kick it to Coach Gillum before we let you go. Do you have any public facing social media, or any social media that you are willing to share if anybody wants to connect with you? A young lifter wants to connect.
My my mom has Facebook. I don't really have that much social media,
Don't worry
but
about
my
it.
mom has
Yep.
Facebook. Jenny Lynn Hallett is her name. If you look her up, I'm sure you'll be able to find her. Or look up Mesick anything, any of the Mesick sports. You'll be able to find me somewhere. I'm pretty involved in my school, so if you really want to get a hold of me, you'll be able to get a hold of me. So
Well, and that's why we asked the question like that. Not everybody has that public facing
yeah.
social media presence. So if you want to keep up with what's going on at Mesick, find Mesick's powerlifting page on social media. Coach Gillum, I'll kick it to you to say goodbye to Miss Celeste.
Hey, Celeste, once again, thank you for being with us. Congratulations on being one of our scholarship winners this year. Good luck at Grand Valley State. We hope that the club powerlifting works out for you with your schedule and stuff. But just remember where you came from. I'm sure your dad has taught you those things. And when we say that, we also mean that from the Michigan High School Powerlifting Association. So thank you very much. Appreciate you. Good luck.
You're welcome. Thank you guys for having me too. And thank you for the scholarship.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right.
Bars chalked up, clocks counting down. Another early morning in a small town gym right now. Steel on sleeves, heart in your hands. Every rep, every meet, building Michigan's strongest plans. Welcome to the platform, where the stories weigh a ton. Squat, bench, dead, we rise as one. Michigan's lifters, this is our home. Turn it up, feel that foam. This is the platform. Bus rides, late nights, singles in the duffel bag. White lights, red lights, every call, every flag. From the first warm up to that last grind set. We talk chalk, talk nerves, talk the best you haven't met yet. Welcome to the platform, where the stories weigh a ton. Squat, bench, dead, we rise as one. Michigan's lifters, this is our home. Turn it up, feel that foam. This is the platform. From the UP down to the lakeshore, every rock's a little more war, but you never